style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Cause I done gripped and slipped and swung the shape of a fist at the jaws of those the men up top wish to dismiss. My twin lurks, opposing, sets me up with the jabs. That's when I come and tumble fast with a swift overhand. 5 limbs twist and snap from the top of my palm, forming signs, letters and gestures in shape of a firearm. But there's a weakness from within that comes as part of this puzzle. Cause last year I broke 2 of my 5 metacarpals, but I refuse to be fragile even if my brain...
And I can always cut out what I need to. Damian, what do we do with your hand?
0 all over.
Number 0 all over. Yeah, done, man. Done. Alright, boys. Be back. Alright, guys. Welcome to another episode of Stories for Experiences. We've got Damian in the chair. So we're just going to talk about Damian a bit on like growing up for him and also being in police communications. So where do you want to start with this story, Damian? If you don't mind, would you hold this microphone for me? There we go.
Well, I bet we better start at the beginning. And when I was born with an illness called ARTHROGRYPOSIS, which is something which is rather uncommon and very rare. The only person that I know of that has it is actually Wayne Bennett's daughter.
No shit.
Has ARTHROGRYPOSIS. But I have a relatively mild form of it.
So what is this illness?
Well, basically what it is, it's the bones and the joints didn't form properly in the womb.
Yep.
And hence the hands and I've got no knuckles. I walk on my toes. I don't have flat feet.
Yeah.
And I have a curvature of the spine. When I was born with a few other issues which were rectified at the time. But back in 1965, it was rather difficult for them. And they actually had said that I won't live. There's nothing they could do for me.
I'm glad you showed them different.
Well, I'm glad I had really strong parents and strong nurses who basically defied doctor's orders at night time and fed me. And I got stronger and stronger, and here I am.
So how old are you now?
58.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was it like growing up with this,
Well,
how did it impact growing up for you?
Well, I initially went to a special school but then I went to a normal school for kindergarten onwards, and I was bullied because I was different.
Yep.
And they didn't understand, but as the years went by, we all got along together very well, and I have a friend of mine who I've had since school and since the earliest days of school, and he's still my best friend.
Yeah?
Hi, John.
So growing up with this disability and getting bullied, was it something that developed you a strong personality in that time as well?
Well, I would have had to. Yeah, I did. I developed it, and I've been told I'm very good at defending myself.
You're very good at speaking so far. I think that's a big part of it, is being able to speak well.
Well, confidence.
Confidence?
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about being in police communications.
Yeah,
well, so
basically,
a bit about that.
Back in 1989, I started work behind the front counter at the Marylands police station in Sydney.
Yep.
And did that for about 3 months.
Yep.
And then went into the radio room in Sydney and did the course. Unfortunately, on that occasion, I wasn't successful, so I went back to the station, and this time I went to Cabramatta.
And that's where you got involved successfully.
And then I was a cameraman for 5 years and working behind the front counter and helping out. And then I went to King's Cross and spent another 5 years there. And then after that, I went back to the radio room and passed the course.
Yep.
And ended up in Wagga Wagga. And after being made redundant, I ended up in Canberra with the AFP.
Yeah. And are you still in this role as well?
I am, yes.
Shit, how long have you been doing police communications for?
For about 25 years.
So what's involved in the career as well? So I don't know much about.
Well, basically what we do is we operate the police radio,
Yep.
coordinating police car movements and response to jobs.
Yep.
We take 000 phone calls.
Yep.
We take the non-emergency phone calls. We take Crime Stoppers phone calls. And we do a lot of online work.
Yep. So I do have one question as well, you know, like
Yep.
how has sorry, what was your illness called again?
Arthrogroposis.
Arthrogryposis.
Gry-posis. Arthrogroposis.
So how's that tied into your career as well? Because I feel like it'd work well for you being behind the desk, you know.
Well, I would be if I could be, as far as a policeman's concerned.
Yeah.
And for me, it's been the next best thing. Being able to get into the job and prove that I can do the job and hold my own against some of life's less desirables.
Yeah.
And I believe I do a pretty good job.
So what are your primary responsibilities in the job, you know, like apart from going through the communications, directing, are there any other responsibilities?
Well, the primary responsibility is to be there for people who need you.
Yes.
And providing assistance, providing guidance, providing information, providing advice, and, you know, helping people through their trauma.
Yeah. So talking one-on-one with a lot of people all the time as well.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's all fun work.
When did you decide to get into this career? You know, what was it that decided you, or you did, you know, what was the...
What made me do it?
Yeah.
Basically, because I was working for another government department, and I kept on seeing these jobs come up in the police department, and I thought to myself, I could do that, but I'm just waiting for the right station to come up.
Yeah.
You know, close to home and things like that. And eventually one came up and I got it.
Yeah. So another question I have as well was, how has living with a disability shaped your career path in police communications?
Well,
Yes, I can read the water. Yeah.
it's been hard to answer actually. I've tried to remain as normal as possible,
Yep.
not asking for too much. I do get a little bit these days because my mobility is becoming an issue.
Yeah.
Like they have a wheelchair at work which I can use
Yeah.
when I have to walk from one end of the building to the other, which thankfully is not very often. And they're always willing to help out and all that sort of stuff. If I've got to catch an Uber home because my wife's not available, then they'll wheel me out the front and wait for the Uber, you know. As far as being in the job itself, there's been no real... I've got the same keyboard everybody has, the same desk, same everything.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty normal that way.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So another question I have, do you participate in any advocacy groups, what was it, or initiatives for individuals with disabilities within the law enforcement community?
There is a group for people who have a disability or special needs, as you might want to call it, I'm not sure. But I'm not involved in it, no.
Yeah.
What family is your to condition?
What bandwidth?
Really, like what sort of very similar, like
So I don't understand.
what's
So,
similar to your conditions?
Yeah, are there any conditions similar to what you have? You know, like what sort of family of
Spina bifida.
is it something that sort of progressed as you've gotten older? Sort of-
It's, well,
Genetic game?
it's, I'm the only one in my family who has it.
Yeah.
The other, my 5 siblings are all normal, able-bodied people. I was just a lucky one. Sorry, I forgot the question.
But you have traits of spina bifida before being tipped over into a diagnosis?
No, it was never going to be spina bifida. It was always arthrogryposis.
Yeah.
Oh, spina bifida is similar.
Yeah,
Spina
yeah, it's all
bifida similar.
falls into that same sort of.
Same Cordy family. Yeah.
Yeah. This one I'll for your wife as well. What was your sorry? Yeah, here's the mic, Megan. Sorry to yank you into this, but it's a good question. How have you seen Damian progress in this? You know, especially his role with his disability. It doesn't seem like Damian lets anything stop him. What's your take? He doesn't let? I don't think you do you, Damian?
No.
Yeah.
I don't have a way but works hard and he's a good manners.
How did you guys meet?
Met on the internet,
Yeah.
chatted for about 3 weeks, and then we met.
Wow, how long ago was this?
This was 19, sorry, not 19.
2011.
So you guys have been together for 13 years, 14 years now.
2010.
Yeah, 14 years.
We got married in 2012.
Thank you. So you were in Sydney, right? And
Yeah.
you've come down to join with the AFP. So how long have you been in Canberra for?
I've been in Canberra for 13 years.
And you work in Barton?
Now I work at Winchester at Belconnen.
Where was it?
Belconnen.
Ah, Belconnen. I thought you said Winchester.
Yeah, Winchester Centre at Belconnen.
Ah, got you. I'm a South Sider. I'm not very.
No, that's
North side scares me.
yeah. I know we had to get a passport to come down here.
Just from Sydney.
No, we're from Ngunnawal. I'm being facetious. We're in the dirty south.
Yeah, you need a passport for that. It's spacious. It's beautiful. And so you got how long after you guys met that because you've been in Canberra a few years, was it you met when he was in Sydney?
Well, the thing about
I was living in York
Yep.
and he was living in Canberra.
Yep.
And we met.
Yeah, I got you. You met at Middle Ground.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So what were some of the challenges you had growing up, apart from like the bullying show? What are some of the other challenges?
Well, I wasn't able to play football like with the boys. You know, I loved my rugby league.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play, but I mean, the answer to that for me was to be the sandboy.
Was to be the what?
The sandboy.
What's the sandboy? I'm the worst. I don't know anything about footy.
All right, so I used to run the sand out so that you take a kick a goal.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So that would be like one of like the sort of things that you've overcome, like one of those challenges where it's like I can still participate.
That's exactly
You know,
what
I can
that
still
is.
get it.
Exactly.
You don't seem like someone who lets. If this can't stop you, you know, I feel like you're someone who goes hard. You know, you try to take every opportunity.
I find a way to do it, and it's the same as when I was learning to drive. Everybody said, "Oh, you won't be able to drive." Go. I said, "Well, watch me." And you know, I've driven to Perth, I've driven to Cairns, I've driven everywhere. There's nowhere in Australia I haven't been.
So what's it like for you when you drive? Like, do you need a certain wheel, like
Nah,
everything's
I
all?
just have something under my ass,
Yeah, gotcha. So everything's still the
and
same.
the seat move forward,
Yeah.
but not that far forward. And I mean, I can reach. You know, it's fine.
So where's the furthest that you've driven?
The furthest I've driven on my own is Mackay, and I drove from Perth,
Younger.
and I drove from Perth back to Sydney.
Yep.
Back because I went on the Indian Pacific train,
Yep.
and then took the car, and then drove back. That was probably the best holiday I've ever had. And then my wife and I did it a couple of years back. We took the car to Adelaide, put the car on the train in Adelaide, went to Perth, and then drove back to Canberra.
Whoa. How long the drive is that?
It took us about 4 days.
Just quickly, I'm just gonna go through. So I have another question as well relating to the disability stuff. But are there any like specific technologies that help you get by, sort of thing? Like what technology that helps you live a better quality of life?
I don't have a great deal of technology to get me by.
Yeah. So you tend to do everything just as you can.
As I can, yeah.
It's interesting.
Playing game. It's mind off the phone. That's only when it's on Facebook.
Actually, that brings up another question. Do you just play games on your phone, or do you play like PlayStation? Do you play Xbox, PC?
No, just on the phone.
Just on the phone? What sort of games do you like?
Nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting?
Nah, just I do colour by numbers
Yep.
and Fritz breaking. Just a game.
So what other sort of stuff
But I've got a fairly sizable die-cast model car collection, cars and trucks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big. I tend to muck around a little bit with that and keep buying more when I shouldn't.
I've got a friend as well that gets into making model cars. I'm not sure about the die-cast stuff, but he gets right into the miniature side of model cars and everything. He goes to little events for them and little what would you call expos?
Expos, yep.
Yeah. Do you participate in stuff like that?
I go to them sometimes, but I don't participate now.
Yeah.
Too much muck around to get the stuff there.
This is starting to look good, my friend. You don't want me to tie up the hair or anything like that today?
No, don't tie the hair up.
Well, that's bringing us to the end of our interview. Was there anything that you wanted to add specifically? You know, like this is your story. Is there any other parts you want to tell while we're here?
Well, only for anybody who might be in a similar boat to me that, you know, if you're not feeling very good about your situation, it is what you make it.
Yeah.
And you need to go out there and get hold of it, grab it, and just run with it. Because otherwise you'll be left behind.
You don't seem like someone who's been left behind. You seem like someone who's keeping up.
Well, I do my best.
Alright, I'm just gonna grab this for a second. Now I'll just do the last check, but I think we're all good. This is looking pretty easy. I think so. Hardest one of the day, mate. Hardest one of the day. Oh shit, there we go. Right. Now just put your head forward for me and we'll make sure there's no more hairs under there. Do you guys plan on staying in Canberra? Yeah. Plan on staying around, plan on it's an easy place.
We like it here and the services are here, and also everything we need is here.
Yeah.
And our home is here. And we're not moving. We love it.
Was there anything you wanted to add to this story as well?
Damian and I are so much in love, and we really appreciate each other's personalities.
Yeah.
Like we're different to each other because he's a realist and I'm sort of like, I like my sci-fi and all that sort of stuff and Star Wars,
I love Star Wars.
but it seems to mesh well together.
Yeah.
So it's the best thing for us. Yeah, I love him to bits.
I'm really glad to hear that. I think I actually forgot to turn my mic on, so we're sharing the mic a tiny bit. But I wanted to thank you for your time today, Damian. Like that's quite a story, especially of overcoming the odds you have. You know, like someone who wasn't meant to survive, and you're here 50 years later. I'm happy to get this story, and I want to thank you for giving your time today to telling it. Don't forget, guys, to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you for the next episode of Stories for Experiences.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Cause I done gripped and slipped and swung the shape of a fist at the jaws of those the men up top wish to dismiss. My twin lurks, opposing, sets me up with the jabs. That's when I come and tumble fast with a swift overhand. 5 limbs twist and snap from the top of my palm, forming signs, letters and gestures in shape of a firearm. But there's a weakness from within that comes as part of this puzzle. Cause last year I broke 2 of my 5 metacarpals, but I refuse to be fragile even if my